This week's videos are going to focus on measuring, and measuring encompasses several different things: the length of an object, the weight, and the liquid volume or capacity an object can hold. We're going to start by reviewing measuring lengths. This is something we talked about before we went on this social distancing, isolation, work from home. So this should all be review work for your kids. When we look at a ruler, we always want to line up the line at 0 because 0 doesn't always line up with the edge of the ruler. Now, I'm asked to measure it to the nearest ½ inch. The way I taught and explained it to my students was you want to see how many whole inch jumps. So how many jumps you can do from one whole number to the next. So I can do one whole jump from 0 to 1 and about one whole jump from 1 to 2. I can't do any more whole inch jumps because my line does not extend that far. So I would say that this is 2 whole inches. Now my line stops at 2. So there's no fraction needed after. This line measures 2 inches. The second one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start by doing whole inch jumps, starting at 0, going to 1, going to 2, and going to 3. I can't go to 4 because my line doesn't extend to 4. It stops between it. So I would say that this line is 3 whole inches. Now this line here in the middle is to show 1/2. So I would do a little jump to the 1/2, which is about where my line ends. So this line is about 3½ inches. Now at the bottom, it's asking me to measure to the nearest 1/4 inch. So if I look here at this first example, I still have that 1 inch line, or excuse me, that 1/2 line. But now I have lines in between where 1/4 and 3/4 are. I'm still going to start measuring the same way though, doing my whole inch jumps from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3. I can't go to 4 because the line does not extend all that way, so I would put 3 whole inches. Then I would do some littler jumps, and I get to that first little line. And the fraction at the first little line was 1/4. So my line measures 3 1/4 inches. Looking at number 4, I can do 1 whole inch jump. I don't need to do any smaller fractional jumps, so this line measures 1 inch. For 5, I can do 2 whole inch jumps and no more. I can do approximately 3 little jumps, and the fraction that would be at the third little jump line is 3/4. So this line is approximately 2 3/4 inches. Now on the second page, it's asking you to estimate. And when it says estimate, it's asking you to take a guess. How long do you think that line is? And it gives you a 1 inch measure to help you with that estimate. I might say that this line is about 4½ inches. It's a guess. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. On the actual measuring, I'm going to take the ruler that was included in the packet, and you want to use the ruler that has 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. It can be found at the bottom of the page. Now I would do the same type of measuring with the jumps that we did on the previous page, where I show my whole inch jumps like I did. So I can do 1 whole inch jump to 1, to 2, 3, and 4. I did 4 whole inch jumps, so the actual length is 4 inches. Now be careful when doing it like this. Some students forget to stop at the whole numbers and make jumps whatever sizes they want. Make sure they do the jumps at the particular spots on the ruler. My second line, since this one's 4, I would guess that this one's about 3.5 inches. Let's go ahead and measure it. Same thing, I'm going to do my whole inch jumps, and I can see that it's about 3 whole inches. And then I have 2 little jumps, and that line stops at that 1/2 inch mark. So it's 3 1/2 inches. Coming down to the bottom, it's asking you to draw a line segment that is this length. So I would start my line segment here at 0. I know it needs to go at least 3 whole inches, and it needs to stop at the 3/4 mark for the fraction. So then I can take it, oops, and I went too far, and show that this is 3 3/4 inches. The next one, same thing. I started at 0. I need to make sure I get to 1, and then I need to make sure it gets to 1/2. Trace the line, 1.5 inches.